II, the king of Macedonia, during 359 BC and 336 BC, saw conquests beyond belief, created the first true instance of a united Greece, and set the foundation for a certain Alexander the Great. But why do I have to scroll through two other Philips to see his name in Google? That's because he's overshadowed by his son, Alexander III, and I'm not even going to call him great. But Chancellor, Alexander conquered more than Philip the Second. Well, duh. The Persian Empire, made by Cyrus the Great, had made Persia united, not destroying any religious minorities. He was pretty much a good guy. And also made it connected with roads, one big road system. Plus, having Greece, it had multiple roads, not for each city, and weren't really connected. Plus, the Persians did not have a strong army for a while. And with that, it was going to happen. Oh, am I supposed to be talking about Philip the Second? Oh yeah. Philip the Second, or his Greek name Philio, I think, was born around 382 BC to the king of Macedon, Amyntas III. Now, Macedon was at the greatest Greek city. It was, at the time, the most northern state that could be considered Greece. To its west was Epirus, an up-and-coming power state that would rival the Roman Republic at a point. To its south was the state of Thebes, which was the current powerhouse of state and was basically controlling Greece, and had Macedonia under its thumb. Further south, you had Sparta and Athens, two huge rivals of each other since, when the Persians invaded. And to its further west, you had the Greek colonies in Italy and the nation of Syracuse, which was considered Greek. Macedonia was a backward state compared to the other Greek states, at least compared to the democracies of the south, compared to the kingdom of Macedonia. Anyways, Philip began his life pretty well, being the son of a king. Oh wait, no, he's dead. Yep, the king died and was replaced by Biography II. What is with these Greek names? He would not last long, with him dying 2 years later in battle, being replaced by Amyntas IV. Under his reign, Philip II was he was given as a hostage to Thebes, along with 30 other people. But he was more of a guest, and other 30 people were basically treated as prisoners. And he was influenced a lot by the general Epaminondas, I cannot pronounce that, the best general at the time, which made Philip interested in military. After being given back in 364 BC, Philip lived a pretty good life until his brother died due to battle with the Illyrians. A year later, Philip II was suddenly king. And when he came to power, he instantly began to reform the military. First thing he did, the phalanx formation. And before you ask, yes, this did almost break my editor. The 16 by 16 formation saw 12 to 20-foot spears towards the enemy, and right behind them was the same thing, except the spears were a little bit upwards, and same behind them, and 12 more times than you have a phalanx formation. Oh, you're trying to ram yourself into the lines? Good luck. I mean, if you get past them, I don't know if they had knives on them or something, but yeah, good luck. Oh, and you have bows and arrows? Well, we can just block them with our spears and shields. Oh yeah, they also had shields, but my editor crashed when I was trying to add them, so they're gone. Oh, you're going by their sides? Oh, the cavalry's usually right there. Ain't that dandy? The flanks gave Philip the Second a strong state, but before Philip would begin his military conquest, he needed allies. So he married a Duta of the Illyrians. However, the marriage did not make the Illyrians happy for some reason, so they attacked their ally. The first one of Philip's campaigns would be in the area of Paeonia, which we have little knowledge of except it was maybe an ally of the Trojans. All we know is that the Paeonians began to be a little annoyed of how un-Paeonian Macedonia was, and with the help of the Illyrians, who were mad and also killed a few of Philip's brothers, they began to raid. Macedonia, with its new army, decided to attack them. Luckily, Philip was able to rally the people to invade due to Macedonia losing territory after Illyrians took a good size during the reign of Philip's brothers. Hearing about Philip's plans, the Illyrians sent out 10,000 infantry and 500 cavalry cavalry against Macedonia's 10,000 infantry and 600 cavalry. The Illyrians also had 7,000 shock fighters, but surprisingly, in the battle to ensue, the Battle of Irigon Valley, the Macedonians won due to
After
this battle, Macedonia annexed Paeonia and Illyria, making it a military power, and making the populace believe it could actually fight. Soon Philip and his army marched down to Apuleios, which a few years back was unconquerable by the Athenians. Because of this, Philip agreed to lease the city to the Athenians for the city of Pinda, which what Macedonia lost in 363 BC. But soon Philip conquered Pinda instead of just having it, and there's no real reason to lease the other city, so they just kept it. Athens soon declared war, which, after the help of a league I cannot pronounce, the Athenians but were officially kicked. This also attracted Eprius, and soon Philip left his current wife for an alliance with Eprius. Oh, and also his horse won the Olympics. Soon Macedonia conquered Macon, Aberta, and Maronia. Oh, and he lost his eye. Not long after this, Macedonia would be engulfed in the Third Sacred War between Thebes and Phocia. This was the case due to Thebes seeing Macedonia's newly found military strength. After a crest of Thebes, Philip and his army attacked Thessaly. This allowed for an alliance to be formed between the two nations. The army again was called up in the next year, and he decided to invade the tyrant Lacram. They met each other in Thessaly, and Philip basically owned the territories that they were occupying. The resulting battle left the Phoenicians scared and losing 7,000 men. Oh, sweet, sweet flanks formation. After this, the best general of the Phoenicians, Alcimaros, sent the Macedonians packing with two decisive battles. And Philip had to give up. Oh, wait, no, he's returning with 20,000 men and 3,000 cavalry. Also, there's Thessalian forces with him. The Macedonians had really loved the success of Philip and so they were able to raise an army pretty quickly. The resulting Battle of Crocros Field, which is a decisive victory of Macedonia, with 6,000 Phoenicians dying, not talking about the 3,000 who drowned. Oh, and then he threatened Thebes, and now Thebes is no more. After this, he began to threaten Sparta, another military power, saying he was going to invade Laconia. And then the Spartans responded with if. And then he invaded Laconia. He then invaded Argine and won, but was injured again. Soon he decided to do something bold and just took all Thrace. Well, mostly. You see, the Persians had owned Thrace, and, well, they just gave up and left. Let the Greeks have a swing at it. Soon he began to siege the only places in Thrace that could withstand him. Byzantium, or modern-day Constantinople. Oh, he was also sieging, Perseus. But the sieges took longer than he hoped, so he fought a coalition of unhappy Thebes and Athenians, which he beat. Oh, and he destroyed Emipsa or something. Then he, like a dove from the sky, it happened. No, not the birth of Alexander or marrying more wives. That happened a long time ago. He unified the Greek states. Kind of. You see, he united all Greek armies, well, except Sparta and Syracuse. That just comes with a nice little side effect of the only one to have an army, which basically meant they were all puppet states. Why did the Greek world do this? Well, Persia. Persia and Greece always hated each other, often fighting battles such as Thermopylae, Marathon, and Semillus. Now, Greece had a military power that could actually take Persia, and with Persia's withdrawal from Thrace showing military power was diminished, the time seemed right, but they weren't ready for an entire conquest. The Persian Empire was still the Persian Empire. They needed to be weaker and more unstable for a perfect invasion. Philip did all he could to prepare. He undermined the Persians by supporting whoever would go to war with him, but this never really worked, so he funded as many opponents of the throne to hurt Persia. He put in money for anyone who would try to put themselves in on the throne, basically. And every time it failed, they would put them in fine dining and exile in Macedonia, sometimes having to share rooms with the young Alexander. But finally, Philip would invade Persia. The Greeks used to have colonies on the Turkish coast, but after Persia showed up, they had to return to the islands off the coast. By the way, that's why Greece holds so many islands today. So Philip and the alliance sent 10,000 troops to take the land. Finally, after his entire life of waiting for this moment, his troops invaded Persia. Of course, he was all the way back in Greece leading other operations. The Persians left the Greek land, and control of them was left to the Macedonians. You can imagine how happy he was, celebrating his daughter's marriage to a royal from Epirus. And then his guards stabbed him. The troops in Persia were pretty demoralized and soon withdrew after a few skirmishes from Persia. Alexander III would take up the throne after suppressing some revolts from the Illyrians and other Baltic countries. He decided to go through Thrace instead of the way of just going through the old Greek colonies, and he would go on to conquer Persia with the army of his father, which was made by his father. Without Phillip the Second, outstanding moves to make a state more powerful than the world had ever seen, we would not have seen most of modern history.